And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories is proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com. The 6-Minute Webinar enables you to be able to get your ideal message across to your ideal customer or your client. Because if they're contacting you and they're listening to you or they tuned in to see what you had to say, they want to know one thing. Can you help them in their hour of need? That's it. They don't care about all the other things you do, and they just want to know if you can help them. And today I'm joined by Jeremy Stone. Today is the day that we have health and wellness, and we're going to be talking about some super duper foods. Welcome to the show, Jeremy. How you doing today?
I am doing good, my friend. How are you?
Oh, doing fine. It looks like we got a little bit of a lag there, brother. And from the camera, your voice is fine, but it looked like the camera went asleep on us a little bit there, but no problemo. Today, you took a topic that you like to talk about, which is superfoods, because if we give our body the right tools as far as nourishment, it can combat the inflammation, the free radicals, and that is the breeding ground of all disease. See, the reason why COVID is so dangerous to us is that COVID feeds, just like all diseases, off of inflammation and free radicals. My goodness. I tell you, if we reduce those free radicals, them radicals in your body there, and the inflammation, we could live not only a lot healthier, but a lot happier. And Jeremy, you've done a lot of research on that, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so true. You might be surprised, Jim, if I told you that the majority of people's health issues isn't caused by genetics. It's actually caused by what they put into or allow into their body, right?
Yeah.
So our diet, our nutrition is a huge factor in our healing. We just don't pay enough attention to it.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, because a lot of times, one of the beautiful things that Jeremy and I have discovered is that in addition to the superfoods, because sometimes you can't find the foods that you really like. We've all experienced shortages, but we have an alternative to where we can actually maintain our health on an even keel. And if you'd like to know more about what we're talking about, just get in touch with us here at the TV show, because we want to focus on the superfoods. And let's see, I think we got an email address in here somewhere. Here we go. Just email us here at the TV station, inspiration at e360tvlive.com, and our staff will make sure it gets to the right person. And if you'd like to, after all, you hear all the knowledge that Jeremy brings to the show, you may want to contact Jeremy. His email is jeremy at yourbizprofitscoach.com, right as you see right there on the marquee. And, Jeremy, I'm going to kick this thing off by just saying one of the best superfoods that we hear a lot about is blueberries. My goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, blueberries is number one on the top of my list of top 10 foods, superfoods for today. So blueberries are just amazing things. And as we discuss these different superfoods, I think it's important, to keep in mind the role that these superfoods play. I mean, they can help with our mental illness, prevent mental illness. They can help with heart issues. They can help with cancer issues. They can help with, just total body, right? It is truly what we eat and what we breathe in that determines how long and how well we live, right? I say how long and how well because you might live a long time but not live well, right? You could be almost artificially kept alive, right? by pharmaceuticals and all that kind of stuff, right? But we can actually live a long and well life if we just take care of those things that we're allowing into our body, because our body is a magnificent machine, right?
All right.
Our body is designed to take care of itself. It's we are designed to be our own healers.
Yeah. You know, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine that doctors all take the Hippocratic Oath on, he was the one that said, let your food be your medicine. And he was not in favor of us reinventing, doing our own chemicals, putting them together, synthetics, and whatever they use in the modern medications that we see today. He was not a fan of that. In fact, he got in an argument, and he says, we've already got everything that we have in our food. And one of the things that I tripped across in that study was that there is one poison. It is a poison that's in our food called oxalic acid, OXALIC. And one of the highest concentrations of oxalic acid you can find is in parsley. And I tell people, you know, just take a little parsley and put it underneath your tongue and let it absorb into your bloodstream, because that attacks abnormal cells like cancer, arthritis, and so on and so forth. But I want to get back to blueberries, because blueberries they are well known for being very high in antioxidants. That's the
Yes.
one thing that free radicals, that attacks free radicals. In
Yeah,
addition,
absolutely.
go ahead, sir. Yeah,
No,
because
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, blueberries they're well known for antioxidants, and that is beneficial for your body, no question about it. It also contains natural fiber, vitamin K, magnesium, vitamin C. We hear a lot about vitamin C and vitamin D, but vitamin K, that's one that we don't hear a lot about. And it even has copper in it. But the fiber supports the digestive system. A lot of people are very, very aware of how important good fiber is to the digestion, and also the circulation, your blood circulation. And vitamin K is known to protect your heart health, and it also will help prevent osteoporosis. And
Yeah.
you know, to me, I know vitamin K's and a lot of the things that I take, but I don't really recall hearing a lot about vitamin K. You hear a lot about vitamin C and vitamin D and vitamin E and all that, but vitamin K, that's one of them, just seems to slide under the radar for me. Do you notice that too? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you kind of cut out there for a minute. But vitamin K is a very often overlooked vitamin that people don't think much about, but it plays such a critical role in so many of our body functions, right? And that's why oftentimes you get a vitamin D3 supplement that is combined with vitamin K. So you get a K D3 supplement because they both work well together in supporting different things. So yes, K is important for heart health. It's also important for your bone health. Vitamin K, along with magnesium, helps to support the absorption of calcium and actually get it into your bones. So super, super important. You know, and blueberries, you're right. They're very well known for their high antioxidants. Which do a lot. It helps to take care of free radicals in our body, which helps to prevent cancer. But you know, one of the main components of the blueberry, what actually makes it blue or a dark purple color, is the anthocyanins in it. And so anthocyanins are these dark purple, blue, red pigments that we find in plants, plant materials, and they are amazing for the body. They do a lot of things. In fact, not only do they help to slow cancer progression if you do end up with cancer, but they also help to improve your cognitive abilities, your memory, everything like that. So blueberries all around, you know, it helps reduce inflammation, reduce cholesterol in your body, which of course is great for your heart health, and it helps to lower blood pressure. So it is a superfood.
It really is. And one of the things, too, about blueberries, when you see all the vitamins that's got in there, like magnesium, this is all natural. Because a lot of the vitamins and stuff that you think you're getting, they're not as potent or they're not as pure as you're led to believe. Because magnesium also, I was reading up about that, it also helps with leveling out your blood sugar levels, and I know you've had some experience in that, with your blood sugar and all, because you were a diabetic type 2,
Yes.
and you are no longer affected by the effects of diabetes, but it can always be there, huh? It's
Yeah,
always there.
absolutely. And magnesium is another often overlooked supplement. Because we're just not getting enough of it in our diet. And here's the thing: we can eat super healthy diets, we should, but oftentimes we just don't get enough of the nutrients, and sometimes we need to supplement with it, right? We need to find a quality supplement to help with making sure that we have the right amounts of those minerals and vitamins and nutrients inside of our body. But yes, magnesium, it'll help you sleep better.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
help with depression. It'll help, with all kinds of issues. So it is just, blueberries all around. Blueberries is a great, superfood for
yeah.
people to add to their diet.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with blueberries, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people are very familiar, most people I think are familiar with, because so much has been said about blueberries because blueberries have earned the right because of all of the good things it has in it. Another one, this kind of surprised me, was collard greens. Growing up
Mm-hmm.
on the farm, my dad used to raise collard greens, and we'd had so much at that time back in the 50s. We would slice up, the collard greens there, trim, get them, harvest them, I should say, and we would sell them to a local grocery store that was, a small independent grocery store. And this really surprised me, ladies and gentlemen. Collard greens, of course, they really help improve your digestion and they support brain health. But listen to this, just 1 cup of collard greens contains 858% of your daily vitamin K needs. And this superfood boasts, it has vitamins B1, B2, B3, and B6. It's all essential. These are all essential for your adrenal health, your mental focus, and energy. My goodness, maybe I need to eat a bucket of collard greens if it helps with mental focus. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
Hey, I think the collard greens are a fantastic food. Being a cruciferous vegetable like kale, to add these to our diet is super super important. It aids in digestion, the fiber from it, and like you mentioned, it is very very much loaded with essential vitamins and minerals that we might need, including vitamins A, C, and K, that are really really good for us. I love kale. And kale, right along with collard greens. I love collard
Yeah.
greens too. And there's so many different ways that you can prepare them. You
Oh,
can simply take some kale or collard greens, chop it up, throw it in the oven, and dry it out, and make kale chips, right?
yes, yes.
And throw a little bit of Himalayan sea salt sprinkled on top, not a whole lot,
Ooh.
right? You mix it up, and you make some, and it's a great snack. And I oftentimes do that,
Yeah.
and just keep a little bit of it around while I'm working, at my desk, and have that. So a lot of people go, well, what kale? What do I do with it? You can steam it. You can add it to your salads raw, right?
Oh,
There's so
yeah.
many different things that you can do with it. You can chop some up, throw it in a saute pan with a little bit of olive oil. Throw a little bit of diced onion in there because onion's another fantastic food for your body. Throw a little bit of that, a little bit of garlic in there, and you mix it up, and you have a fantastic lunch, right? That is just flavorful and really good for you.
Yeah, I like those kale chips you were talking about there because I've ate those, and man, those things they're a lot more tasty to me. I know they're a lot more healthy than potato chips I get in a bag. And
Yeah.
but I was just going to share this with the folks out there in TV land. Growing up on the farm, I remember my dear Aunt Bee. I lived in North Carolina, and I had an Aunt Bee. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But but Aunt Bee would come over to the house, and I'd usually drive the car down to the farm, even though I was about 12 or something. But see, back then, kids could drive. I mean, not legally on the road, but if the sheriff or somebody saw you going, driving down the road to go to the farm, they didn't bother you. Because kids grew up driving tractors and stuff like that. We'd go down there, and she loved collard greens. And we'd, slice off the leaves, and she'd wash them and all that. And then she would prepare them. I don't know how she did it. But she would also blend in scrambled eggs in there and some ham and some cornbread. And I'm telling you, now that's a country meal, folks, but I'm telling you, not only was that scrumdiddlyicious, it was a great meal. I would love to sit down at the supper table one more time and have Aunt Bee serve those collard greens, ham, and scrambled eggs, and fresh, cornbread. Oh, that cornbread just melts, and you put the butter on there, and the butter just runs right through. I mean, it just melts right into it. Oh, anyway, back to you.
Jim, you're drooling a little bit there. You need to. I think that memory's brought back the sense and the taste.
Yeah. My memory's going, hey, we need to do that again.
Yeah. It is true. And it's wonderful when we can have healthy food and brings back such fun memories like that. And unfortunately, in the Western diet, we're just not getting enough of these fantastic superfoods. But collard greens, kale, other cruciferous vegetables, they're important for your immune function and for your bone health, and they have these vital nutrients and they're high in it, right? And the fact is that the fiber from eating it too helps with managing your weight, because you'll feel more satiated eating high fiber foods, right? So it's a great superfood. That's a fantastic one for you.
And the beauty of it is, if you don't like collard greens, you may find something else. I mean, it's just, we're just so blessed to have all of these great superfoods. And, as Jeremy said, you put this in there and that in there. You may not care for onion, okay? But you could do it. You could either do it without onion or add something else. This is what's so neat about these superfoods. You can make them to where, just like I've talked about the collard greens, the ham, and the scrambled eggs and the cornbread, just all of it complemented each other just deliciously.
Yeah.
And you can do that with your
you
superfoods.
get creative. Get creative. When I began to really focus on health and nutrition and focus on natural healing modalities, I went and got a whole bunch of vegetables, right? And I experiment. Lunchtime, I'll throw some broccoli in a little saute pan. I buy those bags of the small yellow and orange and red peppers, and I'll dice some of those up in there. Throw some onion in there, some garlic, a little bit of pepper, black pepper. Mix it up, right? And it's a fantastic lunch. It's full of flavor. It's not boring, and it is way better for me than going and making that ham and cheese sandwich, or getting the deli sandwich, getting the burger from the fast food restaurant. It's just fantastic.
Oh yeah, I remember also. This is maybe a nicety to know. Growing up on the farm, Mom baked a lot of her breads and stuff, and we had sliced bread, of course, but sandwich bread was. It was just something Mom would buy, additional, maybe for easy to make quick sandwiches. But if we wanted a little snack and we didn't have any sliced bread in the house, I remember this. We would take collard greens and put peanut butter on it. And that was our snack. And some people actually use collard greens, the leaf of it, just like you use a tortilla. I mean, it's just amazing what you can do with that. And
but I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, we do lettuce wraps, right? So we take a big leaf of iceberg lettuce and we make lettuce wraps. So that sounds like a fantastic idea. I love the creativity of it. And that's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, I can't just eat vegetables, and to be fair, I'm not a vegetarian, but I am a proponent of adding a lot more plant-based diet into your diet because of all the nutritional benefits of it. But there's an important factor for meat as well. So I'm not anti-meat. So if you're in
Mm-mm.
Texas, don't hate me. I'm just for adding more vegetables and fruits and stuff
Mm-hmm.
into my diet so that
Yeah.
it can help support my body's own natural healing.
Hmm. You're exactly right because I'm not a big meat eater either. Not as much as I used to be, but I like to eat meat as a specialty, as a treat.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about bacon and sausage, and I'm talking about ham and stuff like that, and even steaks. I want to use it. I want it to more of it be a specialty. And since my heart attack and all, obviously I had to change my diet a little bit.
Yep.
But I'm closing on my 2-year heart anniversary. It's coming up here pretty soon in about 5 days. Anyway, um, I started to, my brother, excuse me, he had a heart attack and we both went through the same type procedure. We both had the
Mm.
Widowmaker. Didn't know it was hereditary. Didn't even know I had it till I had a heart attack. And Ben told me something. He says, I got on blueberries. He says, I didn't like blueberries, but then I decided, well, I'm going to eat blueberries because blueberries like me. So sometimes, and he actually developed a taste for it. So we talk about collard greens or kale or blueberries or something like that. And you're thinking, well, I don't really care for the taste. If it really likes your body, and it's very beneficial to your body in any of these superfoods we're going to be talking about today. The real nice thing to do is like it back, because that will
Yeah.
really help you. It really will. And the one thing I love about, when I first changed my diet originally back in the 90s, I used to always eat like a hamburger for lunch and fries and then come after lunch, I'm kind of
Yeah.
lugged down. And my wife started making salads, and in the salads, she'd put in apple, she'd put in nuts, she'd put in different things like that, and made it tasty to me because salads to me were kind of bland, you know. And one day I was sitting there, and I was going to have my lunch right at my desk because I owned a manufacturing business. I had a lot to get done that day, and I
Mhm.
don't want to, go somewhere, and so I just had the salad there at my desk. And afterwards, after I ate, I thought, man, I feel good. I don't feel lugged down. And that was really refreshing for me. So that was one thing that you might look forward to for you folks that may be considering changing your diet. Make sure that you eat something that you love. And now, Jeremy, I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about something
Yeah,
that I
absolutely.
L O V E. I love LOVE. We live out in the country, and we got own 8.5 acres, and we have a lot of trees, and we have a lot of brush we need to burn from tree limbs and stuff like that. And in the ashes of the fire, we're burning. What we like to do is take sweet potatoes, wrap them up in tinfoil, and stick them in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm a big fan of sweet potatoes. And I tell you right now, there's something about cooking it like that or baking it, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
I mean, it just really brings the flavor out. I don't know what it is.
Well, sweet potatoes. First of all, I love that because I actually have, I live in the South, and
Hmm.
I have live on 4 acres and been doing some yard work and everything. And I actually have right now in my yard a big old pile of brush that I got to burn. So
Mm.
I might just have to, I might have to try that. But sweet potatoes are fantastic
Oh,
food.
yeah, they
They
taste
they
good too.
so good for you. Not only are they full of vitamins and minerals, but they're
Mm.
full of fiber. They help to regulate blood sugar, keep you from spiking. So I mean, that is a fantastic way. And I love how we're talking about these different things and the creativity, and hopefully it's helping our audience to come up with ideas.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to point out because of what you just said before the sweet potato thing really brought out a great point, about our taste, right?
Mm.
The way things taste to us. And just this morning, I was watching a lecture from one of the experts in nutritional medicine, and he actually talked about that very thing. and how it takes about 6 weeks for our taste buds to change, right? But if we can give it the time, if we can have the mindset that we know this is really good for us, all of a sudden we begin our taste buds change and we begin to like those things that we didn't like before. And so here's an example, a personal example. I used to eat a lot of fast food. I used to go get the Big Mac or the quarter pounder, and I would eat those. I stopped doing that for a few months, and then happened to be out and about, needed to grab something for lunch, was with the family. Okay, let's go to McDonald's, and I get it, and it just didn't taste good to me. Right? I didn't like it. It was too salty. I could taste what was wrong with it, right? In my body's going, no, you know better. And my taste buds are telling me that. So give it some time, right?
Yeah.
Go with the mindset that I know that these diet changes are helping me, and give it 6 weeks. And pretty soon those things that you didn't like, you'll find that you like it.
Yeah. Because your body's going to send a signal from your gut to your heart to your brain. Hey, this is good stuff. We got rid of the junk. And when your body starts liking it, you're going to know it. And just like I experienced the same thing. You take like coffee. I used to always drink my coffee with cream and sugar. That was the way I was, brought up. I used to always drink sweet tea, being raised in the South. And in the military, if I remember in Germany, we were able to get coffee out there because we were on the maneuvers on the Reforger 1 over in Grafenwehr. If you folks, anybody out there in TV land know where Grafenwehr is, in 1969, in January and February, we were sleeping in tents in the snow, so coffee was real important. And I asked the mess sergeant there, I said, you got any coffee? He said, yeah, there's some coffee over there. And because we were moving all the time, he's getting things set up. I said, you got any cream and sugar? He turned to me and he says, do I look like I'm running a restaurant here? And so I just drank the coffee black. And I started to realize, hey, I like this because I didn't need the sugar. And I didn't need the cream. Sometimes I'll put some cream in there, but very, very rarely. But never sugar, never sugar. And the thing, too, I want to go a little bit out here on a limb here, if I may. We talk about, putting the sweet potatoes or even any regular potatoes into the tin full and putting them into the fire out there and letting them bake like that, how it just brings the flavor out. When you cook on electric stoves, the electromagnetic force affects the taste of the food. A lot of people don't believe that. But you look at the great chefs, what do they use for fuel to cook their food on the stoves?
It's always flame.
It's gas, because gas is natural.
Yeah.
Because the electrons, it puts off electromagnetic force just like a light bulb does. And it does affect the taste of the food. That's why great chefs use gas for cooking. And that's why whenever there's something, my daughter is coming up this weekend, and my granddaughter. And my granddaughter is 29 now, so she's kind of out of the marshmallows and s'mores age. But we're going to be doing some hot dogs on the open fire out there, roasted hot dogs. And I hadn't had any roasted hot dogs on an open fire in a long, long time, but I know when you cook it over an open flame like that, it just really tastes so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, we were burning a pile of brush just last week, and that's what the family and I did. We cooked hot dogs over the brush pile, and
yeah.
And I'll be honest, we had a treat. We made some s'mores too, but
there you go.
We did roasted some marshmallows. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes it's important, right? And that's the thing. When you're making these healthy lifestyle changes, so many people think, I can't do that. It doesn't mean that you don't ever have to treat yourself to something, right? It's just that you make a conscious choice to live a healthier life. You understand that what you're putting. I think to me, it's more of an understanding of what you're putting in your body, what it does to your body, right? So I know, so instead of like my 14-year-old son who made like 2, 3, 4 s'mores, right? I knew I made me one and I stopped, right? That's it.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed it with my family, but I didn't have to overdo it, right?
Hmm.
I treated myself, and then I understand that I don't want to put no more of that into my body because I know what it's
Hmm.
going to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like I tell people on their birthday, be sure and treat yourself. You
Yeah,
deserve that. And when
yeah.
it comes to your favorite dessert on your birthday, that's health food, you know.
Hmm.
So be sure and treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself there, you know. That's very important in life. I mean, I'm 75 and you know, it's kind of like a friend of mine. He went to the doctor and he says, the doctor was telling him, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other. And he said, you know, Doc, I'm going to do what makes me happy.
Yep.
And I thought about that and I said, that's right. That's really right, you know, to enjoy the quality of life. And if you can treat yourself with superfoods and you find something that you really love, oh my goodness gracious. You know, another one of the superfoods that this one I love in coleslaw, and that's cabbage. Oh, I love that. I really do. Cabbage is a great
Yeah.
superfood, and it's you know, cabbage is getting more and more recognition because there's green cabbage, there's red cabbage. I think there's white cabbage too, isn't there? I think there is. I'm not
Uh,
sure.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm more familiar with the green and the red,
Me
and I
too.
love adding cabbage
Hmm.
into things. And that's the thing. Cabbage will last for a long time. A head of cabbage will last for a long time
Yeah.
in the refrigerator. And just simply, I like to slice off,
Hmm.
a couple rings of it and throw it
Hmm.
into the pan, and you make that with other vegetables as well. Again, be creative.
Oh, yeah. One of the things that cabbage is known for, it's known to lower cholesterol by preventing bile from the liver from absorbing fat after you eat.
Yeah.
That is
Yep.
critical. And I'm watching a big, beautiful butterfly come up. You know, I thought, you know, this too cold for butterflies, but it almost looked like a bat. He was so big. That's what caught my attention there. And you know, it's just amazing all of the good foods that we have. And you know, there are these little micro farms where people can have their vegetables even on the back porch of a upstairs apartment on the deck out there. And it's amazing how people can get creative.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's very important for you to get creative. It really is because we're talking about your health. Your body needs nourishment. You owe it to your body. If you want to enjoy good health, is to make sure it gets good nourishment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you made a huge point. Wherever you live, you can put a pot, and some soil, and
Hmm.
you can grow a couple heads of something, right?
Yeah.
And there's just something I think that's just enjoyable about, harvesting your own food,
Yeah.
even if it's just a little bit, being
Yeah.
able to do that. So I
Mm.
think that that's a fantastic idea to do that. And
Yeah.
you can grow a head of cabbage, you can grow some lettuce, you can grow your herbs, you can grow basil
Oh,
and
yeah.
parsley and
Big
all of that
time.
stuff in small little pots, and use fresh herbs in your cooking. And
Hmm.
I think that's the thing, is that have fun with it. So many people look at changing their diet as a drag, and
Like going
pulling you
to the
down.
gym.
And
I got to go to the
yeah, yeah,
gym.
it's like, oh my God, my life's going to become miserable, right? Because I got to eat my vegetables. But just get creative with it, and don't try to change everything at once. Start out just
No,
adding
no.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Adding a little bit here, just make
Mm.
that step. A journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first one, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's that you need to do, is just take that one step, add a little bit, and try it and play around with it. Have fun, get creative.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many opportunities to add these things to our health, and
Right.
I think that it's a wonderful thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I know people that also, they also were able to go online and buy some of the ingredients that they need for their health. That makes it very, very convenient. It saves a lot of time. because one of the things that frustrates me, and this is why I do a lot of my shopping online, is that you go to a store, you drive down there, you've wasted gas to get there, okay, especially if they don't have what you want.
Right.
Or they may have how many times especially since COVID hit, my goodness gracious, that was a wake-up call for everybody. I don't know who the Einstein was, because everybody get out of the car in the supermarket in the parking lot. Well, the first thing they head for, toilet paper aisle,
Yep.
I mean, why not beanie weenie and crackers, I mean, if we're going to have a shortage of food, let's get some beanie weenies and some crackers. At least we can make it. But a lot of people use the convenience to save time, energy, money, and everything, and be able to get and know they're going to get what they can. I know people that order pecans online from certain farms, buy from small companies, buy from companies that they're going to eat the same thing that they package and sell. That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I think I love that idea, finding those places. I just literally last week found a place here in Kentucky, a small privately owned place that has all natural herbs and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
since I use those in making natural remedies and medicines and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
actually took the drive about an hour and 45 minutes to this rural place in Kentucky, and went and visited the gal personally, because I could have ordered online, right? She has the ability to order online and ship it, but I'm like, I made it a day with my wife. And we went in and made the drive in, went and visited with her in her shop, and talked to her about it. And I think that's a fantastic way to do things.
Yeah.
And now, when I want to order more, I can order online and have it shipped. I don't have to go anywhere. I can do it from convenience from my home. But now I have that personal connection
Oh,
with this
yeah.
person, right?
And a great way to find things too is go to small towns, because they have farmers markets. They have, certain times of the year they put on events, and they have, they'll bring in vendors there, and your vendors they might be selling woodworking crafts. They might be selling honey. They might be selling, their coffee, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that's a good place, a source to go to collect information, ask questions, and maybe try it. And then you can make the right informed decision for you, because you can go back and research. And you want to make sure that what they sell is the same thing they will consume in their house. That's just kind of like a standard I've set for myself. And if they're in that category, and they're of course, anything doing with food, they got to be FDA approved and all that, and they got to meet certain standards. But the point is, I want to do business with someone who would take the same exact package you're going to send me and open it up and eat it in their house. That's the kind of person I'm looking for. And that might be a good nicety to know for you folks, because a lot of small, like I get a kick out here in Texas. You'll see people parked on the side of the road during the summer, and they got an umbrella and all that, and you can pull over and stop, and you can buy watermelons from them, because they're farmers that raise watermelons. And those watermelons are fresh. They're not picked when they're still green and then shipped, to be in some store a month and a half later or something.
Yeah.
And that's a good source like that. So hopefully we're sharing some information here to get some wheels going up there and get you thinking outside of the box. That's the important thing here. It really is.
I think creativity is,
Oh,
that's the thing is just changing the mindset. So many people think that, eating healthy is boring. And that's nothing farthest from the truth. I mean, think about all the different myriad of combinations of fresh herbs and spices and stuff that you can put into your food. And here's the thing that I found is that, I actually, when I eat more healthy, when I eat more good foods, greens and stuff, that I tend to not be hungrier. Right. I tend to stay satiated longer.
Yeah.
It's just the fiber in it, the way that the body works to digest it and it takes its time.
Yeah.
I just feel more energy and I feel like I don't get hungry as much, right? And
Yeah.
so it's just a fantastic thing, to be able to change these things. And thinking about the
Hmm.
superfoods,
Mm.
another one that a lot of people don't think about is quinoa, right? And quinoa is actually a superfood. It's a grain, and it's so good for you.
Mm.
It is full of amino acids, and not just amino acids, but the essential amino acids. And so, if our audience doesn't understand, they probably heard the term amino acids, but I guarantee you that 90% of the people don't really know what amino acids are, right?
Hmm.
And and the amino acids are actually one of the fundamental building blocks for life, right? You
Mm.
cannot have life without amino acids. It just doesn't happen. So your entire body, they generate proteins. They build. They're
Hmm.
they're essential in building this thing that you see, your body, and helping it to become what it is.
Hmm. Yeah.
So there's a total of 20 amino acids, but there's
Mm.
9 of them that are classified as essential, right? And these essential ones, get this, these essential ones your body can't make, right?
Mm.
So of the 20, the non-essential ones, your body can produce some, right, and can make it. But the essential amino acids, the only way for you to get them is through your diet.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and one of the things I want to mention too. There's a whole list. We're just hitting a few. There's
Right.
broccoli. That's another tremendous superfood. It's packed with antioxidants and nutrients and minerals,
Yeah.
and it is just a great, great uh, plant to be able to eat. It maintains bone health, vitamin C, which is our immune system. And I'm reading here that in promoting healthy skin, and the fiber in broccoli can also help prevent colon cancer. It said
Yep.
that a 2015 study reported that people who consumed high amounts of dietary fiber are less likely to develop colorectal cancer. And one of the things I've just got to talk about because I love these things is almonds. Oh, I'm a nut. I love almonds, pecans, walnuts. Black walnuts are my favorite. Mercy.
Yep.
But to love nuts, you got to be a nut too. And Jeremy can testify to that I'm definitely a nut. But nuts are so beneficial to you. Oh my goodness. I mean, I
Yeah.
just love them. I just love them. That's just all there is to it.
And almonds are actually on my list of the top 10
Okay.
superfoods
All
as
right.
well. So that is definitely something that's super important, and it helps with your heart health, regulating your blood sugar levels.
Mm-hmm.
It actually, there's compounds in it that enhance your cognitive function, so they help to prevent or to help you to not get dementia or Alzheimer's, right? And that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother thing that, there's so many ways to help with dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah.
But it aids in weight management,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a few of them and you feel full for a long time, so you
Mm-hmm.
tend to eat less,
Yeah.
which is always good for us as well. So it's
W-
fantastic. And walnuts, same thing. Having walnuts
Yeah.
and getting them, there's super benefits. I mean, just in the last few weeks,
Mm.
I've personally hand processed hundreds of walnuts because we have walnut trees on our property, right? So I've been
What would you
processing
charge me
that at
for a
least
bushel of them?
hundreds. Oh man. But it's a lot of work. I'm probably, but yeah, I mean, I got hundreds of them that I've cleaned, I'm curing, and all that
Mm.
stuff, and so and I love it. But they're so healthy for
Oh
you,
yeah.
to be able to do and
And getting
and
them right
and
off the tree like that, they're so fresh.
yep.
You know exactly what you got. You also know that there's no pesticides on them.
Right,
That's
right,
huge. Yeah.
exactly. I know that it's all organic,
Mm-hmm.
and but yeah, I mean, and there's so many benefits to them, for our bodies. And a lot of people think,
Yeah.
well, I can do walnut oil. Well, walnut oil is not even near as close as beneficial to your body as eating the actual walnut.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. And I know that we buy almond milk rather
Yep.
than regular cow's milk because number one, it lasts longer, and we like the taste, and it's good for you. It really is.
Yep. I
And
only drink almond milk, and that's a change that I've made this year as well. I
mm,
used to drink a glass of dairy milk every morning.
hmm
And as I began my journey of just trying to be more natural and taking care of my body, I
yeah,
realized the negative effects of dairy that you buy actually in the stores.
hmm
And so I've switched. A lot of people go, "Oh, almond milk. Yep, it's good."
yeah,
Again, my taste buds. I've conditioned my taste buds. I love it,
hmm
so I use that instead of
yeah.
from dairy milk. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
because a lot of the cattle nowadays, they've been inoculated with so many different chemicals and stuff. And that goes not only into the meat, but also in everything in the cow, including the milk. And
Yes,
that's why it's
yes.
so devastating for us. And that's one of the reasons why I steered away from it. And in my family, everybody in my family loves buttermilk except me.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, I've tried it, and I know a
Well,
lot of people out there love buttermilk, and I'm not knocking milk or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but you can't get buttermilk down my throat unless you hold me down and put a funnel in my mouth and pour it in.
well,
Just the very taste of it just made me shiver all over. And
well, it's
that's
a
just a that's an
dairy.
example in the difference in us. Yeah.
Yeah, dairy milk today. Um, from most of it, what you can get, unless you can get all organic,
Mm,
no hormones, no antibiotics,
yeah.
from that type of stuff. I mean, the dairy that we're buying in stores and have been for the last 20, 30, 40 years, is a huge hormonal disruptor, right?
Mm,
It disrupts our hormones, and it disrupts our microbiome and everything like that. And the reason being is because of all the antibiotics and all of
mm-hmm,
the hormones, right? I mean, think
mm,
about it. It's being passed on through the dairy and the milk, and it contributes to early. We're seeing girls that are starting to have their first menstrual period, at 10
yeah.
and 11 years old now,
Yeah.
instead of what used to be the normal of 15, around there. So we're seeing these hormonal changes, and it's the hormones that are being passed on in our
Mm-hmm,
dairy. We're seeing more men with what we call male boobs, right?
mm-hmm,
It's disrupting the hormones in the
yeah.
body. So we take these cows that are continuously, I mean, think about it. A cow that's producing milk is producing milk for what? It's
For
producing
human,
milk
yeah.
for its baby, right?
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm,
producing milk for its baby. And so we keep these cows pregnant all the time and having all these babies so they keep producing milk. And so we're not even really letting their bodies rest, right, in between
mm-hmm,
calves. And so we're continuously pumping them full, and we're getting all these hormones that these cows are being given. So
mm-hmm,
definitely, looking at natural milk,
mm-hmm,
and looking to get it from places don't use antibiotics. If you're going to drink milk at
mm-hmm.
all, you want to try to find the healthiest milk that you can. But
Yeah, sure, sure. You're absolutely correct on that. And we've only got a few minutes left, but there's one thing I wanted to share that's very, very healthy. It's a 1-2 punch, and that is rice and beans. I love that combination. That's a great combination where the rice has a certain flavor, the beans have a certain flavor, and together they create their own flavor, and it is scrumdiddlyicious.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And beans are a fantastic superfood. They do a whole
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
If you do have sugar issues or whatnot, caution consuming rice. Especially white rice. If you're going to consume rice, make sure it's brown. But white rice will cause a spike in your glucose level. So just that little disclaimer there. If you do
Yeah. Yeah.
suffer from diabetes or pre-diabetes or anything like that, just keep that in mind. But the thing is if you combine it with beans, that'll help to slow down the spike because the beans will take a little bit more time to digest and therefore release
Oh, yeah.
release from your stomach. But
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've never been much of a fan of white rice. I prefer the brown rice and the beans. I can either take pinto or red kidney. It doesn't make any difference to me. And I mean, holy smokes. The benefit of beans, my goodness gracious,
Yeah.
it's just off the chart when it comes to beans. Beans are they're still relatively inexpensive in today's market, you might say. And especially the black beans, they're often underrated and they're definitely unappreciated because black beans are full of iron, phosphorus, and zinc. And men,
Right.
like you say, women need iron and men need zinc. They really do.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it could be a win-win situation for a male and female as far as the iron and the zinc and the phosphorus.
And black
Go
beans
ahead.
actually have the same anthocyanins that we talked about with blueberries. The coloring
Yes, they
of the
do.
black is actually that same compound in there, so it has a lot of the same effects as well as being very high in fiber. And as you mentioned, colorectal cancer. Fiber is so important, and the reason why is
Yeah.
because fiber actually scrubs the colon wall, right? That's what it does. By bulking it up, it actually scrubs and gets bad cells stuff off the colon wall and helps
Yeah.
to get it out and prevent it from becoming cancerous cells.
Yeah, and we got to also remember fish because fish is a very good food. Tuna and salmon. Oh my goodness gracious! Even canned tuna
Yeah.
is still good. I mean, it's highly recommend, but you can use it in so many ways to flavor your vegetables and be creative with your dishes. Because
Yep.
that way my mother used to make dishes, the same dishes, but sometimes she'd make it different ways. And every single way she made it, it was delicious. And the
Yeah,
joke
and
in our
salmon's
family
actually
was,
one of my top 10.
oh yeah,
Yeah, salmon's one of my top 10 superfoods.
yeah, it really is. It's a wonderful, wonderful fish. It really is. It's really packed with a lot of good things. And we're almost out of time here. We're about ready to trip the wire here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure and get in touch with Jeremy there. His email, jeremy@yourbizprofits.com. Or you can get in touch with both of us here at the TV station. Just email us as you see there, inspiration@e360tvlive.com. And we'll be glad to answer your questions. And we'll just, be glad to share our knowledge with you because we've found, ways of being able to maintain our health and give our body what we need, especially if you're traveling. That's a huge one because a lot of things you
Yeah.
might be able to have at home, you don't get on the road or you don't get in the airport. And that's very important to keep your body and your health maintained. And Jeremy, thank you again for being with us today. My goodness gracious, it's always a great show. Always enjoy having you here on Tuesdays with the Health and Wellness Show. And we're going to be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, I'm trying to think what our topic's going to be next week. We got it planned out. Do you remember off the top of your head? If not, I can tell you in three.
Yep.
I've got it right
next
here.
week we're gonna talk about natural remedies for common ailments.
Natural remedies for common ailments. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's exactly right. We're going to discuss natural remedies and alternative therapies to common health issues such as headaches, allergies, insomnia, and we may even cover a few things that cover aggravation too, because if you're not feeling good with an
Yeah.
ailment, you might get aggravated too, right?
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure and share the show with others. And most importantly, remember one thing, you're worthy of being loved. So love yourself first, then you can love others. And we sincerely hope and pray that you and your family are healthy, happy, and blessed in all areas of your life. We'll see you next time.